Let's talk about the 25 books I want to read in 2025. Hello beautiful people, welcome to my channel. If this is the first time on my channel, welcome for the first time. If it's my first time, welcome back. Okay, a lot of people have been doing 24 books in 2024, 23 books in 2023. Now in 2025, let's talk about the 25 books that I want to read in 2025. These are books that are going to be top of my TBR. Like, they have to be at the top. Like, they are my focus. They are my aim. Okay, that's enough. Okay. But yeah, before that, I want to talk about my goals for the new year. In 2025, I aim to read 70 books. I really hope I'm not jinxing it. Because last year I set my reading goal to 50. I didn't get it, okay? But you would imagine that for someone who wasn't able to read 50 books, I would come down a little bit. No, I'm going higher and higher. But I've been able to read 100 books in a year before, 80 books in a year before. So I'm just thinking that it's because last year was a bit busy for me, but this year is a bit more, not chilled, but I'm going to intentionally read these books. Do you understand? So yeah, from creating monthly TBRs to, you know, doing this type of video, 25 books, 2025, I want to be more intentional with actually creating time to read books because I really love reading books. So 70 books is a goal for this year. Hopefully I'm able to do it. Apart from the number of books I want to read, I also have some intentional goals for reading this year. Number one is reading Christian books. I used to read a lot of Christian books before, but fiction kind of like took the front seat, and now I'm not putting any of them at the back seat or the middle seat. I just want everybody to be seated in the same line. Do you understand? So I can just sit with them and whatever one I'm comfortable with, you know, we're in the same company. Do you understand? But I want to read more Christian books. So yeah, there are a few Christian books that are part of this 25 books in 2025. And the second goal is to read more Nigerian fiction books. I've tried Nigerian fiction books and a lot of times they just feel like trauma dump. I was having a conversation with my friend and I was just telling him that I read books that are set in different countries, and a lot of times I feel like because I'm not in that country, it feels new to me. It looks new to me. So it's entertaining for me to read. But because I'm already used to all the, you know, trauma that happens here in Nigeria, it doesn't look new to me. So I'm trying to escape from the reality, but I'm being met with it in a book. Do you understand? But if those people who are reading the books that I read set in different countries, those that are from that country, when they read it, they're also facing the reality of whatever's happening in that country that's being set in that book. Do you understand? So I think that's why I've been running away from Nigerian fictions for a while, but right now I want to dive into them a little bit, but I'm going to be very selective. So I've added a few to this list for the 25 books I want to read in 2025. And lastly, I want to explore memoirs. Is it memoirs? I don't know how to pronounce it. I'm just gonna put the word here. I want to explore it. I think I've put just 2 on the list because I don't want to do too much, okay? Just little by little. So let's get into this list. Okay, so I've categorized this list to make it easier and faster for us to, you know, to talk about it. And yeah, let's get into it. First category is books I want to finish. There are a couple books that I've started before some years ago when I was trying to find my foot or genres that I liked that I haven't finished, but they are core ones that I'm like, you know what, this year is this year, I must finish these books. I will not take these books to the next year, okay? First on the list is Homegoing. I started reading this book when I was still in school. I think I was in 300 level at the time. It felt very boring to me. I'm sorry. But it was talking about independence in Ghana, I think. I'm not so sure. I feel like I would even have to restart the book because of how long it's been that I read that book, but I hope to finish that book. It's also part of African fiction, you know, kind of like, you know, Nigerian fiction, African fiction, you know, same family. Next book is Educated. I don't even know if it's a memoir or a non-fiction, but I started reading this book. I loved it, but I got distracted by other books and I never continued it. Then we have 16 and Pregnant. I know what you're thinking. Hold on. I started reading this book. It's about a girl, I think she's 16, she gets pregnant for a boyfriend, but that's where I stopped. I don't know what happened after that. I've not been able to finish this book because, as usual, another book caught my attention and I moved on to another book and just dumped the book I was actually reading. Next book is Love in Color. I started reading this book in 2021. It's been 4 good years and I still haven't finished this book. My issue is that it's a collection of short stories. I'm not a huge fan of collection of short stories. I feel like there's no depth, there's nothing more. It's just short. You know, you give me surface level and you move on to the next story. Give me surface level, you moved on to the next story. I've not moved on, but you've moved on as the writer, and it's kind of annoying. So yeah, but I want to finish it this year because I'm 50% through that book. Like, just finish the whole thing. Do you get? People raved about this book when it came out. I think it's 2020 or 2021. So I think it's my turn to read it, to finish it rather, and let's see whether I'll rave about it or I will just say, why did I decide to finish this book? Next book is The Thing Around Your Neck. I read a book by Chimamanda and I was like, what other book by Chimamanda should I read? And I stumbled upon this book, discovered that it was also a collection of short stories. Why do I keep doing this to myself? And it's basically because I don't even read synopsis of books. So I just don't know what the book's about. I just go in blind and then I find out, oh my God, it has a trope I don't like. It's something that I wouldn't read on a normal day. And then I'm stuck with the book and I'm like, I have to finish this book. I hate DNFing books. So just end up being books I haven't finished. Do you understand? But yeah, I want to finish this book because by Chimamanda, I want to, experience her wonderful writing again. I love the book that I read by her before and I want to read more of her books. That's why it's on the list. And last but not the least, in the books I want to finish section is Love and Other Words. You guys, people raved about this book. They talked about this book so much. I bought it, but it's not what I expected. I honestly expected a deep, heart-wrenching, poetic, lyrical love story, but it's not like that. It just feels very bland, surface level. It low-key feels like everything that I've read in other books, but then it has this trope that I'm not a huge fan of, that I do not like, and I don't enjoy seeing in books, but I have to finish it. Like, I'm almost done. I feel like I'm 80% through the book. I just need to finish it. Do you get? Let's move on to the next section. Next group of books that I want to read in 2025 are series I want to finish. First, we have the Six of Crows series. I've read the first book. I haven't read the second book. So I want to make sure that I read the second book this year. I loved the first book, but I don't know why I'm scared to read the second book. Because that's the end of the series, do you understand? It's not a trilogy, it's just a duology. Next book is book 3 in the Powerless trilogy. And this is going to be the end of this trilogy. Is it trilogy or trilogy? I don't know. But I'm nervous. I'm scared, skeptical. I just really hope that the momentum that she used to start the first and second book is going to be way better than the third. No. The momentum she used to start the first and second book won't be reduced. Like, it's not going to feel different. Like, the third book, I really hope that the momentum is way better than the first and the second. I really, really hope, because a lot of times you have good books. First book is good, the second book is good, and then the third book just ends up bland because it's the end of the series. But I really, really hope that that's not the case when it comes to this Powerless trilogy. I still don't know the name of the book yet. I don't know if the name of the book is out yet. It doesn't be revealed. I'm not sure. Maybe I haven't done my research, but I don't know it yet. So yeah, last but not the least book in series I want to finish is the Cursebreaker series, A Vow So Bold and Deadly. Started reading this series probably last year. Yeah, last year. I finished book 2. No, not last year. Was it last year? No, 2023. I finished the series in 2020. Oh yeah, I finished 1 and 2 in 2023. Couldn't read in 2024, but I got the physical copy. So I want to finish it in 2025. Moving on to the next category or section of book is Nigerian fiction. Like I said at the beginning of this video, I want to read more Nigerian fiction books. I enjoy them, but I feel like a lot of them have too much trauma, and sometimes the writing style is not one that I enjoy. It's just more of trauma dump. Do you understand? One bad thing after another, after another, after another. But I want to explore different authors and, see the different range of books. And yeah, first book is And So I Raw. I discovered that The Girl with the Louding Voice, which is one of my favorite books, has a book 2 and a continuation of Aduni's story, which is sad and exciting at the same time. Sad in the sense that you're telling me that all that Aduni has been going through is still going to continue. Like, are you telling me there's going to be roses and sunshine for 300 pages? No, I'm very sure there's sad things that will happen. I mean, the amount of sad things that have happened in the first book is that's The Girl with the Louding Voice. I can't even imagine what would happen in this one, but I'm so excited to read this book. That's why it has to be on my list. Second book is Aviara. In my reading wrap-up, my 2024 reading wrap-up, go watch that video. I talked about Odufa, how I didn't really enjoy Odufa, but I'm willing to give this author a second chance chance because at the bookstore, I just really wanted to pick Aviara, but I thought it was a collection of short stories, so I didn't pick it, so I picked Odufa. Starting to low-key regret that I did that, but I still want to read Aviara and give this author a second chance. But if Aviara turns out to be like Odufa, then I know that it's not a me problem, it's the author, okay? But I'm now going to keep a distance from this author, okay? Third book on my list is His Only Wife. Low-key, I've started this book already. I also wanted to get this book at the bookstore. Odufa replaced it, and I'm so sad that I replaced this with Odufa. I wish I got it. I wish I got it. Not like there's anything special, but I low-key feel like His Only Wife would have turned out better than Odufa. I don't know if you read both books, let me know in the comment section which do you prefer, His Only Wife or Odufa. But anyways, His Only Wife is on the list. Hopefully we get to it. I've started it, so it's to finish. That's the main thing. The next book is What Happened to Janet Uzor. Apparently this is a thriller, and I've never read a Nigerian thriller before. I'm excited to read this book. I just really hope it doesn't fall my hand because I've seen a lot of reviews and some of them are very bad, some of them are good. But a friend of mine posted this on her Instagram story and I'm like, okay, if you post it, then I would read it. I would give it a chance, okay? So then it's now up to the author to make it worth my time. Last book in this category is Honey and Spice. I'm not sure if this is a Nigerian fiction book, but I know that the author is a Nigerian, so it has to count as a Nigerian fiction book. Like I said, Love in Color is by the same author. I haven't picked up Honey and Spice because I have a feeling that the writing style is going to be the same as Love in Color, but I've bought this book already, so I'm willing to give this book a chance to change my mind about this author. Next category is Christian books. These are the Christian books that I want to read. I don't have a whole lot on the list so that I can easily ease, into that genre of books again. First book is Mere Christianity. I've always wanted to read a book by C.S. Lewis. I don't know anything about this author. I don't know anything about him, but the way his name sounds, it sounds very educated. So I've always wanted to read a book by him. Next book is The Greatest Power in the World. This is by Kathryn Kuhlman. I've read this book before, but I honestly feel like this is a book that I have to read every single year because I just need to be reminded of the kind of power that I carry, like how big and powerful and mighty the Holy Spirit that lives in me is. I just feel like I need that yearly, monthly, daily, weekly reminder. So I'm going to be reading that book this year. Then next book is Plans, Purpose and Pursuit. I've read this book before a long time ago and I want to read again this year because when I tell you I want to be very, very intentional with the books I read, I want to be very intentional with the books I read. And I just really want to know more. This is by Kenneth Hagin and I've heard so much about this book. That's why I read it as at that time, but I cannot remember anything about it. I feel like this is the thing about fiction books, like non-fiction books rather. You have to keep reading to remember. But if it's a story, you remember a story, you remember the timeline, especially if it's a good one. So yeah, this is one of the books that I feel like I would be adding to my yearly reading list. But yeah, I want to read Plans, Purpose and Pursuit by Kenneth E. Hagin. I also want to read God's General. I bought this book a long time ago and I haven't read it. I can't even imagine the amount of dust on this book already, but I believe there are different types or there are different collections of volumes. I don't know how to put it, but like I would describe it as a series. Also, there are different books in the collection. I have one. I think I want to start with that one that I have. I also have an ebook, but they are different. Do you understand? So I don't know which one to start with, but I'm going to make sure that I read at least one of the book in the collection of God's Generals. Now we're going to move on to the next section, which is non-fiction/memoirs. And the first one is I'm Glad My Mom Died by Janet McCurdy. I think that's how to pronounce her name. Everybody raved about it when it came out, so I bought the hardcover because that was what's available. But I didn't buy it because we raved about it, but I bought it because she's a Nickelodeon/Disney superstar. So I really want to know what could have happened and transpired for her to be glad that her mom died. I want to see the behind the scenes of her life, being in the limelight, being in front of the cameras every single time, how her mother had a role to play in that and all of that. But yeah, I'm interested to read about it and I'm really excited, like really excited. I think I love memoirs. I feel like I love reading about people's life, their story, their background, and how it has affected them and how it has contributed to who they are as a person right now. And the second memoir that I would love to read is Crying in H Mart. I bought this book some time ago last year and the cover is so pretty. That's why I want to read it. It's just so pretty. I want to read it. I want to be part of the books that I've read so that when I'm talking about it, I can just easily hold it up and it just looks very pretty when I'm holding it up. But then again, it explores grief, I think. I don't know too much about the book, but I think it explores grief. You can imagine the two books. One is mourning and one is glad that the mom died. You can just imagine. But yeah, let's move on to the last category in this video. Last one is just more books. more fiction books that I would love to read this year that have been on my TBR for way too long. This is the type of books that I would see people reading and I'd be like, oh my god, this cover is so beautiful. I would go get the ebook, or I would go buy the book. Either buying the ebook or buying the physical copy book, both of them are just gathering dust wherever they are stored. So I would want to get them off my TBR ASAP. First one is Made in Korea. I don't know anything about this book. I don't even read synopsis of it. I just buy them and keep them, and they gather dust. And then one day I remember, oh my goodness, I have this book. Or maybe it becomes a jewel or becomes a treasure. None of them become treasured, but let's assume it happens. And then I remember, okay, oh, I have this book. Let me finally read it. This is one of those books. So Made in Korea, I know nothing about it, but I'm excited to read it because the cover is so beautiful. I judge books by their cover. Next book is Zyla and Kai, another wonderful, beautiful cover, which I'm excited to read. Another one is Love Times Infinity. Know nothing about it. All I saw was black main characters. I got it immediately. Then last but not the least is Today, Tonight, Tomorrow. Another book that I know nothing about, but I'm excited to read. And those are the 25 books that I want to read in 2025. I'm so excited to get into reading a lot more in 2025. If you know me, I love books. I love talking about books. So I was a bit disappointed when I realized that I read just 34 books in 2024. So we're going to fix that, and we're going to put in some structures. We're going to put in some, I'm being dramatic. But yeah, I'm so excited to read as much books as I can read. And I do hope you join me on this journey. If you enjoyed the video, please don't forget to like this video. I'm very sure you enjoyed it if you watched up to this point. But you can just go an extra mile, like this video, leave a comment if you want to see anything nice. I'll be there, I think. But like this video, share with your bookworm friend, and I'll see you in my next video. Love you. Mwah, mwah, mwah. Bye.